changed your mind, correct?
Yes.
Now, I have to say, that's perfectly reasonable, because at the time you entered into this agreement for her to go, you didn't put anything in writing. Your complaint, as far as I can gather, Angelica, is this, that there was a separate discussion. And that separate discussion is very important to this case. What you say is that some years ago, your late partner, who passed away, am I right that there was an agreement that you would all go on holiday together? This was many years ago.
Correct, before I'm moving back to Plymouth.
Many, many years ago. And for some reason, which I don't need to go into, Josie and her partner didn't attend on that previous occasion.
No, Josie did and her son, but her partner didn't.
Understood. But as a consequence of that, you lost money.
Yes.
So on this occasion, what you say is that you said to Josie, I will pay for the full trip, but you placed a specific condition on paying.
Correct.
Can you tell me what that condition was,
If she was
madam?
a no-show, she would have to pay the share that I had paid out for her.
In other words, I will pay the lot, but if you don't show up, because what I really want you for is companionship, you're going to have to pay half, correct?
Correct.
And you specifically said that to her?
I did.
Did you put that in a text message, in writing, or any other form that I can see?
No, it's a verbal agreement.
In English or Spanish?
English.
That's a helpful start. Now, the day came. You kept pushing her. Where's your passport? Where's your passport? Where is your passport? How do you say, where is your passport in Spanish?
Le pasaporte.
Now, that means I don't have a passport.
Oh, sorry. No pasaporte.
I understand. No passporte. Understand?
Gracias.
I feel like I've died and woken up in LOLO. You didn't get a passport because you didn't want to go. Now, madam, did you explain to Angelica, or say, as you reasonably should, look, the thing is, I'm not interested in going anymore?
I did tell her at one stage, yes.
Well, at what one stage?
I was, I think I phoned her up and told her I could not go.
What do you mean
I
you
can't.
think? Let's just pause. Unless you've developed amnesia. Do you have amnesia, or have you
I told
forgotten?
her I could not go. I couldn't afford the passport.
Well, am I right that you had to change your number at some point?
I did change my number.
Why did you change your number?
Because I didn't want to texting me.
Well, why was she texting you? Was it things
because
like...
of this holiday.
You
want
tell
to know
me.
what's happening. Are you still sorting yourself out and all the paperwork?
How many texts did you send?
Few, and I also rang her from a beauty spot in Plymouth as well.
You telephoned her from a beauty
Spot in Plymouth.
You telephoned... Was that on purpose?
Yeah, because I want to know what's happening if she's
Yes,
still
but
coming.
I want to know whether you drove to a serene spot just to telephone her.
No, I just bought an ice cream and it was a nice spot and I wanted to sit outside in the sun at the time.
You didn't want to sort of mark the occasion with a good view?
Well, possibly.
Now, eventually the time came and you ended up going on the holiday on your own because
Correct.
you had no other choice.
Nope.
Now, the problem was, and this is really the substance of your claim, you want half the money because you were promised it back if she didn't show.
Yes.
And perhaps you wouldn't necessarily be claiming it had the holiday, frankly, not transpired in the way that it did. And it demonstrates why you wanted and needed companionship, correct?
Correct.
Because in stages, Angelica, I'd like you to explain to me how the holiday went from beginning to end, because you characterise it in a certain way. How would you describe it?
Bit of a disaster in times.
I'd say a large disaster, madam.
Yes.
How do we say disaster in Spanish? No bueno! What happened?
I missed the ferry.
Yes. Then what happened? You were driving
Yes.
on your own
Yes.
through France, right the way through the Pyrenees
Yes, the
into
travel
Spain.
company put me on the later ferry. I ended up going to Rostov in France and had to drive through there. Ended up in a place called Rennes.
Yes.
It's a lovely little place when you go around in circles. And eventually, because I speak a little French as well, I managed to get a Frenchman to put me in the right direction to
Just
Spain.
pause. You speak a bit of French, you've got a Frenchman. What French was it that you spoke that helped a Frenchman put you in the right direction? And was he in the right direction?
He was a Frenchman, he was in Rennes, and basically I asked him which way to Spain. And he took me down to the junction to show me which way it was to Spain.
Let's do that transaction. I'll be him, you be you. Bonjour, madame.
Bonjour,
Est-ce que
monsieur.
vous avez un problème? Qu'est-ce que votre problème?
Qu'est-ce que c'est, le Spain?
That means, what is it, Spain?
It says no, in France.
Sorry? No, carry on.
It says no, in France. It
Listen
says this
very
is France.
carefully, I shall say this only once.
I said to him,
Wait, I'm there. I'm still there. Madame, qu'est-ce que le problème?
Spain? He says, not Spain, it's France.
Yes, he knew it was definitely France. Voici, c'est France. Qu'est-ce que le problème? Vous voulez un autre pays? Would you like another country? What did he...
It's Spain.
You said, you're driving around the middle of France and you said, Spain?
Yes.
And what did he do?
He was very kind. He took me to the motorway in the direction of Spain.
What do you mean he got in your car and drove you to the motorway?
I followed his car, and he took me to the direction of Spain.
Suivez-moi dans voiture. Is that what he said?
He says, yes, follow me, and in broken English, and he says, follow me, I take you to the direction of Spain.
And you carried on driving?
Yes.
Tell me about the rest of the trip.
I went over the Pyrenees, to France, down into Spain.
Did you get there in one piece?
Yes.
No problem over the mountains?
No, it took me 11 hours.
Yes, it would do. Was it a nice time?
Sort of. It was end of season.
Well, the problem was a bit of a lonely trip. And the whole purpose was that you were going to have a good time.
Yes.
And the difficulty was that you ended up there alone. And that can't have been terribly pleasant, I would have thought, correct?
Correct.
Don't be stupid. Stay and watch the best Judge Rinder moments. And I'm talking. Understood? Don't be a moron. Subscribe to Judge Rinder YouTube channel. Right now. That's an order.